Oh, we're finally live. Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping on this live with me. I'm a little punchy today, I must admit. What I mean by punchy is like giggly, funny, and I'll explain here in a second. But my name is Marcy Billen. I am a real estate agent here in the Oklahoma City Metro, and this is my normal Tuesday night show. And we talk about what it's like to live here in Oklahoma, different aspects. So, the thing that we're talking about tonight is the future of Norman, Oklahoma. So, I am from Norman. I don't say so. We call people that are from Norman Normanites. I don't say I'm a Normanite because I didn't go to school here. Like I went to OU, but I didn't go to grade school here. So I don't really say that I'm a Normanite. But I've lived in Norman for 17 years. I think it's more like 16 actually. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the future of Norman, what's going on. There's some fighting happening. There's some interesting development. There's football, all the big things. So yeah, I'm happy to be here with you. A couple of things. I love your questions. I love to interact with you. You notice that I'm by myself today on this live stream. So that means I'm just talking to myself unless you comment. So I love your questions. Let's see. We do have a comment. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for telling me I'm a Normanite. I appreciate that. A lot of people would not say that I'm a Normanite. I do appreciate that. I do love Norman a lot. My chair is really creaky today. Okay, thanks. That makes me feel good. I like that. All right, so I have a few different things to cover today. And one of the things I can't find my other shoe. I'm wearing like one shoe and not the other. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was just like how I find information. People are always kind of like, where'd you figure that out? How do you know that? Like, well, I find it. So I'll show you how I find stuff. There are some interesting like news sources that like I use that I don't know that other people do. So yeah. But first of all, cheers. So tonight I have my aloe drink, and I always pronounce this as saliva. It does not say it doesn't say that. So cheers, you guys. This is my aloe for tonight. Cool. So I have been sitting in front of my screens the entire day because I'm taking this class right now. It's called the Accredited Buyer Representative. Yes. And I have to sit there, but no one interacts because you can't, right? So I sit there on the live stream and like we ask questions like once every 2 hours. I don't ask any questions, but other people do. And then we just watch this woman talk, and it's some really good information, but it's 2 days of me sitting in front of the screen. So it's from 10 to 5 Central Time. It's a lot. So in the description, you're going to find a link where you can sign up for my newsletter. I have a newsletter that goes out twice a month, and it is all about real estate in Oklahoma. So sometimes it's really cool houses. Sometimes it's news about like the NAR stuff that's going on with buyer's agreements. Sometimes it's places I like to eat. Like it's really anything, right? So yes. Please sign up for that because I write it and I love writing it because I love writing. It's really fun for me. So the more people I get to share it with, the happier I am. Another comment. Let's see. Do you know of any reasonable homeowners insurance companies out there? Well, Steve, part of that depends on where your property is. So if you can answer me that, you don't have to say like what I'm really looking for is, are you in a city? Like really close? Like, are your roads paved? Are you on city water? Are you on city sewer? Like that kind of thing? Or are you out in the country? Like that's the information that I need to let you know which one is going to be best for you. So why is Allstate has been the best in Morris. I have to look that up, sir. I don't know where that is. Which tells me it's going to be Farmers. But my gut tells me that you kind of already knew that. Oh, Okmulgee County. I hear people calling this Okmulgee. It is Okmulgee. Here, let me spell it for you guys. It's a fun one. It's a cool word. I don't know what it means. I can't remember. Okmulgee. It's a county and a town. Both. All right, I'm looking it up. Oh, okay, Steve. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be Farmers for you, buddy. If not Farmers, like maybe Farm Bureau, but everyone tells me that it's the worst right now. But if you are close to a fire station, like you can check with Allstate. I took Thurman's information off there. Here. I have another. Check with this guy. You're going to have to, I just don't have time to get his phone number and I don't have it memorized. I'm going to have you Google Thurman Lynch, okay? Just Google it. He'll come up and just give him a call. You'll probably talk to Brandy on the phone and have him give you a quote. It's free to have him give you a quote. It usually depends, though, on how close to a fire department that's paid you are. Oh, I hate that. I hate that because we're all so rural here in Oklahoma, but it is what it is, right? But really good question. Thank you so much for asking it. Okay. And thank you for having me look up the city of Morris because I did not know where that was. Here, I learned something new today. So next thing, I wanted to talk about the future of Norman because there's a lot of stuff going on. So if you don't know, which if you watch my channel, you know that Norman is the third largest city in Oklahoma. We, of course, are the home of the University of Oklahoma. And, oh dear. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Present. I don't want to do that. I want to share my screen. Oh my gosh. And we just joined the SEC. Well, we didn't. Like Norman did. You know what I mean. We joined the SEC as in... Oh, you joined the SEC, right? Okay. So with that and a lot of other things comes some other things. So I just shot a video last week for you guys. It's going to come out on Friday. I hope you all watch it. It's about why I stayed in Norman after college because most people don't. And one of the things I talk about is that in 2007, which is the year that I moved to Norman, the population of Norman was 107,000 people. And right now it's 128,000 people. So it's quite a lot different than it was back then. And there's been a lot of changes since. So this is one of the changes I wanted to point out to you. It's really interesting. And I did not know I would love this so much, but I love it. So what this is, and they don't have good pictures of it, so that kind of is weird. But this is James Garner Avenue. This picture is from 2020, so obviously no one's in the streets. It's from when Norman Music Festival was supposed to happen. If you didn't know, Norman is the city of festivals. We have a lot of festivals. So what they did effectively, and let me get the map out here for us, is they extended flood. So let me just walk you through what that means. Norman, Oklahoma. Okay. So here's Norman, right? Fun. It's a good place to live. And we're going to zoom in. So this street right here is Flood Avenue. See it? Can you see my... Okay, you can see it. Oh, man. It's good stuff. So right here... So here's Flood Avenue, right? I'm good they have it in here. I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to explain it to you, but it makes sense that they would have it in here. So we zoom in, I live very close to this, you'll see a traffic circle. I know that you hate traffic circles. I don't get it, but I know that you hate them because I hear it from people all the time. I love them, but I lived overseas. That's what they use to keep traffic moving, and it makes sense. They put a traffic circle right here and extended James Garner Avenue. So James Garner, it used to, well, it goes through downtown and like closer to campus. So now from my house, instead of going around on Porter or all the way down Flood to get to downtown, which is my favorite area of Norman, I can now go on this roundabout and go down James Garner. And they made a new bridge right here. So right here, if you did not know this, and there's one more as well, I had to tell someone the other day, this is the underpass. So this is a train track. Sorry, I'm like pointing at the map like you can see it and you can't. So that's fine. This is a train track. At night, trains park here. You're like, what? They use it as a parking lot? Yes, they do. They use it as a parking lot. That's where trains park. They don't block Rock Creek and Flood. That's like one of the main intersections. And they sit here because this is an underpass. So you drive under the train track. Fun, right? So now we can drive down James Garner. I don't have any film of it yet because it's like really new. And I can go, when I move this all the way down here. This is Andrews Park. This is like downtown. Of course, the library that's closed. Like, we're not going to get into that today. Here we go. Okay. And I can get to the things I want to get to, like Neighborhood Jam, which is a great breakfast place. Their coffee is especially good. Or I can go to Grey Owl, which is my coffee shop that I like to go to all the time. And there's a bunch of other stuff, but those are my spots, honestly. Levity is another one of my spots, but that's another breakfast spot. So they made the street that makes it easier for me to get to downtown. So I love it. Yeah. So that's really new. And I'm kind of dreading the day that I see a car accident at the roundabout, the traffic circle, because we all know what's going to happen. Oof. Norman does have some traffic circles, but this one's a pretty major area. So I do think it's going to be interesting. Okay. The next thing, I have a whole list of things, and they're kind of not going to be in super order. So where I got that, this is from the OU Daily. So this is one of the newspapers that I read a lot. I don't usually have like a hard copy of it because I'd have to go on campus to get that. And I'm not going to do that typically because they're students right now. But the OU Daily is, of course, a student newspaper, and I like to read it because they typically have more local things than the Norman Transcript, which is our paper here in Norman. Unfortunately, I do still subscribe to the Norman Transcript because otherwise I can't read the articles, and I need those for you guys. But I really, really like the OU Daily. I like so many things about it. So if you're not reading it, it's free. Go read it. I think it's amazing. So that's one of the places I get my stuff. And you just have to go to news. You can see here. So this is just campus news. But then if I go up here, news to city, then I can see the news for Norman, right? So, yeah. That's what I like. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about was Norman Forward. I don't know if you guys know about this or not. So Norman Forward has been going on for quite a few years. I don't know when they passed it. I remember vaguely them passing it, but I probably wasn't like super interested in life at that point. Cheers. But this is like a plan for moving Norman forward, which is why it's called Norman Forward. So some of the projects are completed already. And so here, let me read you like what it is first though. Okay, Norman Forward, 2015. That's right, I did read this earlier. Good Lord. October 2015, Norman residents passed the Norman Forward Initiative, encompassing various quality of life projects with 0.5% sales tax collected over 15 years. So it's a proposal to renovate, expand, construct, and fund quality of life projects. So recreational facilities, libraries, parks, athletic venues, public art, blah, 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 like all this stuff. So this is what's happened so far. Completed projects, right? So we have Griffin Park Phase. Oh, they're working on this. Like I walk over here and they're definitely working on this right now. So that's one of the projects that's happening is Griffin Park Phase 6. Sometimes I forget which parks are named what, but that one is right by 7, yeah. Westwood Family Aquatic Center. So this was finished in 2018, 2019, yeah. People go here a lot. Yeah, I've never been there. I mean, like I've been to the parking lot, but like I'm not really a fan of like crowds, swimming, so I don't do that. But they do have adult parties there, like where adults only are allowed. They have here you can see what it looks like, slides and rock wall and lots of stuff. Little shade, very little shade. So yes, that's what it looks like. But people love it. A saltwater pool. Yes, I need to tell you about a spot that you're gonna like. So don't let me forget. Just text me. I'll tell you. But it's not about here. It's about Texas. So I can't talk about it right now. Okay. Then we have the Norman Public Library East. This is not the one that shut down. This is the other one. This is the Norman Public Library East. I love this one. Like it's beautiful. I actually have never been inside of it, but the building itself is gorgeous. So it's on the east side. It's on Alameda, like in 48 or 36 or something like that. So it's way out there. So I love that side has a cool library because the library on the west side sucks. But that's my opinion because it used to be a Borders, a Borders cafe. Yeah, that's the library on the west side, but I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan. I think it's cold. Like, ugh, I don't like that. Then they also completed the Westwood Tennis Indoor Facility. Tons of people I know play tennis. So yeah, I think that this has been really great for the community and a lot more people are getting into the sport. And yes. Oh, whoops. Have you heard about Dirty Lake Bum? Is that really your name? Okay, it's fine. That's fine. Do you go to Lake Dirty Bird? Okay, it's okay. Have you heard about the city of Norman changing Gray Street into a two-way street on the east side? Yes, I'm very excited for this. So if you guys don't know what new urbanism is, I'm going to write it. And you don't have to agree with me on this. You don't. Fine. New urbanism. I'm a student of new urbanism. That's how you spell it. Okay. It's this idea that we should design our communities around humans and not cars, right? So part of new urbanism is all these studies that they've done on one-way streets and how detrimental they are to businesses, right? They're so detrimental because you have to go around in circles to get to the business you want to get to. And I think Gray Street is going to thrive because of the two-way street. Right now it sucks that I can't park in front of Gray Owl, but I am dealing with that. I just park behind it and walk further. That's totally fine. But yes, I am so excited that they're turning Gray into two-way, and I hope that Main becomes two-way as well very soon. That would be amazing. I think that that'll help so much with the issues that downtown Norman has had. Another question. Do you think that the population projections are low considering we will have a turnpike, regional transit, and large-scale retail projects? I haven't seen the population projections. I'll be honest with you. You guys, that's my cat. That's what she does. She's singing. She wants to play. I'm in front of my computer all day. That's my cat. I'm sorry. That's her singing. So yeah, 1.5%. Oh, over what period of time? That's a lot. I mean, I guess it's kind of moving in that direction, and that certainly feeds into this. If you guys haven't been on this website, Yeah, yes, maybe BB would love. I don't know what she can come up on the table and meet you guys. Usually Willa does that, but BB's the one that's in here. 20 years. So over 20 years, they're saying 1.5%. Okay, well that makes sense with this project. So if you guys haven't been on normandevelopment.com, it's normanokdevelopment.com actually. I know the person who puts this website together. I think they do a really good job and I love reading it. So this is about a large residential area that they're adding. I have mixed feelings about this, but there is this land and it's really hard to see here. So let me bring the map. Okay. Why do they? Oh my gosh. Okay. So it's this emptiness right here. Like this is all empty. On the back side of this is Ed Noble Parkway. Ed Noble Parkway is kind of a sad little spot. But they're planning to do, this residential project. So at first they wanted to do fully commercial, but then it was like, no, we need more residential. So and this has just been sitting empty for so long, which I mean, I don't see a problem with it, but this is what they're planning on. So if you can see that, make that bigger for you. Oh yeah, now you can see it better. So this is Sam's Club here, okay? And here's a little traffic circle, all right? I told you we had more of those. And these are all apartment buildings. Like, can we do condos? Can we do something else? I don't know. I want to enable the people of Norman to purchase homes if they want to. And I'm not sure that this is the way to go. But if you have other information on that, lets me lean in another direction, then share it with me, please. So that's where they're proposing to build these, these apartments. This is a library here on the west side, and we're like, what the hell am I looking at? So this is the interstate. So we're on the west side of the interstate. We're at Sam's Club and the library, and here's my favorite Mexican restaurant to go for breakfast. All those things. So there's that. So they're saying they want to do commercial, of course, right up against the other commercial buildings, and then 3-story apartments and more 3-story apartments. So yeah. Do I have a big asking for condos? Yes, in a way. I think a lot of people here know that condos are not available. I think they bring in a lot more affordable housing, but I also do think that Norman would have to be more walkable in order to have more condos and townhouses. But the reason is that I want more condos is because it pushes home ownership, property ownership, which lets people create wealth, and I think that's really important because right now the average home price in Norman is $280,000, and that's a lot right now. So I think condos may help with that just a bit, but that is my opinion for sure. Okay. Making sure I didn't miss anyone. Awesome. I love you guys. Great. Those are the apartments. There's one little park. Okay. Well, there's a bigger park too. This is what the apartments will look like. They're nice. They're nice. They're nice. Yeah. And then here is like the overall plan. So like I can picture this in my head. I know you guys, if you're not here, you don't know what you're looking at. So this is the Sam's Club. So this is all of that residential, those apartments. So they're saying this will be multifamily. So hopefully that doesn't mean apartments. Maybe it's quadplexes or something. I don't remember what they said. And then this is single family, which is not a very big area. And then this is retail. Okay. Is more retail needed? I don't know. I hope they make it walkable. Here's the thing. A lot of places, like we were at, I was with a friend. I I was with a friend at, where were we? Not at Crunch, the one across from it. And like, there's so much parking, and like, we don't need that much parking for a lot of these places. And if we cut some of the parking, then like, you have more grass, and grass makes the earth cooler, and it's just more fun to walk on. Yeah, I think that's really important. Yes. Whenever I started in real estate in 2015, 16, the average home price in Norman was 180-ish, and now it's 280. Quite a big jump. Yes, absolutely. You can still buy a house for 180, but it's a different house than it used to be. Okay, so they're also planning to build a park. And this is all floodplain, and that's why they have to put a park right there. Like, there's really nothing else that they can do, because the river is here. You can see it. It's like this brown, ugly looking thing here. And I love that they're building a park, because that will mean more walking trails. Hopefully not paved walking trails. So this is the area. A trail loop that runs through the site. So this is 130 acres. It'll be so nice. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh. So here's the park, and then here's the trails. Oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. Oh, I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped for that. So you can see the trail that runs through it. That'll be awesome. So I'm just going to share this with you guys. Okay. I'm a hiker. It's one of my things. It's one of my hobbies. So I have this book. It's called Hiking Oklahoma. It's not perfect at all, but it's really good. So like, you'll see, like, I have tabs at the top. These are hikes that I've done, and I have tabs on the side. These are hikes that I want to do. And to me, it's like such a cool way to like see Oklahoma, right? Like a couple of weekends ago, we went to Guthrie and like explored a little bit and went to eat. Like, it's fun. So that's one of the ways that I like exploring in Oklahoma, because it really takes you to some places that you normally wouldn't go to. So I love parks and like exploring the different wooded areas, because trees are hard to come by sometimes in this little town. So yeah. Okay. Awesome. They're also looking at equestrian out there using zero for horseback rides. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because that, like, a lot of horse farms are on the west side, and then I think there's some more down by the lake. I don't get on horses. I don't know. I have way too many scars from that, but I do think that's a good idea. It's fun. Cool. Okay. Let's talk about the turnpike. So this is hard to understand for me, probably for you. I always love their saying "Pike off OTA." OTA is Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. So if you don't know, in Oklahoma we have a lot of turnpikes. These are toll roads, and they do cost a lot of money. Cheers. To drive on. I always use a Pike Pass, because is there another way? I don't know. That's always what I do. So they were hoping to build a turnpike that like went around Norman. Okay, hopefully you've seen the map, but it's fine. They're calling it the South Extension. So that was part of a $5 billion 15-year plan to develop new turnpikes and expand existing highways across the state. And it was approved in August of 2023. Norman has been fighting tooth and nail, because they're taking out a lot of houses, a lot of people's homes, with their turnpike. And there is a website that you can go to if you're worried about like a house that you're looking at to purchase or something. If it's going to be in the way of the turnpike, like, you can figure it out. For how it is now, it can change. That's the whole thing about it. Am I a fan of turnpikes? No, I'm not. I do believe they destroy small towns. That is my opinion. And that is what we see happen. So this fight was about frontage roads, which is, of course, the roads that run along the turnpike. And I was like thinking about them, because I'm from Claremore, and we have a turnpike, the Will Rogers, that goes, not through town, but like there's no frontage roads on that turnpike at all. So I just thought that was interesting. Like there's not even any like coming out of Tulsa, but there's no population there, so it's not really needed. But yeah, I hadn't thought of that. It's just really interesting. So they're saying that they wouldn't put any frontage roads in Norman, which, to my understanding, hinders development along the turnpike, and you're just like flying by for the rural areas. So, like, sometimes I don't get there, like the why behind some of this stuff, but like to me, I get why you wouldn't want a giant turnpike going through your rural area when that money really doesn't go to you or to your area, and people can't stop because there's no place to stop to contribute tax money to your area. So yeah. So there was a preliminary estimate for frontage roads that was more than $150 million, including the right-of-way for construction. So I guess they rejected all of this. So if you want more fun reading, I'm on the OU Daily, and that's where you find it. But also it is here. Like you can read it here. Click. Oops. So here's the Norman development page on what? No, I want the turnpike. Okay, well, this is the arena proposal, so I guess it like didn't connect through, but that's where I would read all of this because I think that this is a really good website for that. Sweet. I think we covered that. I'm marking some things off my list for you guys. So next, the county fairgrounds. Yeah. So they broke land, whatever. They broke ground on the Cleveland County Fairgrounds building. Fairgrounds, there's so many things that go on at the fairgrounds. Like the farmers market isn't there anymore because it's at the Well, which is another community area that we have. It's on James Garner and Main Street. And Eufaula? Yeah, in Norman. And it's a really cool spot too. But at the fairgrounds, there's so many things that go on, like different sales. And of course, there's a place to park your RV out there, etc. So they're going to build like a better area for the fairgrounds, which it always confused me whenever I saw the fairgrounds here. They just had the county fair last weekend, that it was so small and weird because like Cleveland County is huge and it was like not a good building at all. And I'm from Rogers County and we have a really nice fairgrounds. But it used to be worse. And I'm trying to remember like as a kid, like what it looked like, but I can't remember. But as a kid, like I entered the county fair, free. It's called the free fair. And then also with 4-H. Because I was a part of 4-H and Horse Club, which is another part of 4-H. And so I enter all of that with my horse, and then different art things. So it really, like, the fair for me and, like, going to the fairgrounds was always about learning how to be a part of the community and learning agriculture and, like, learning how to compete. So, I mean, I think it's really important. If you haven't been involved, maybe check it out because it's pretty awesome. So, yeah. So this is one of the things that they're building. So it's a renovation for the fairgrounds in Cleveland County. And the state fair is coming up very soon. State fair is a big deal here in Oklahoma City. It's fun. Well, it's not. I don't like it very much. I mean, like I'll go. I love seeing the animals. Cheers. And that's about it. A lot of people really like going here. And if you haven't been, you should check it out. It is fairly expensive. Go on a Tuesday. I think that's the like $1 day. Like take off work or something, like, and sometimes it's really hot. Sometimes it's really hot. So you just have to be aware of that as well. But check it out. It's interesting. Okay. We did that one. Oh, this was an interesting article. So another spot I like to read my news is the Journal Record. And it's, I think, like a franchise all across the US. And you guys need your questions. I want some interaction here. So this, I loved the title of this article. That's what drew me to it. I'm like, this is a really good title. I love it because I'm all about creating titles because I'm a YouTuber, right? So it's called Investors Blame Themselves for High Home Prices. Okay. So they're saying that 62% of American real estate investors believe they've contributed to high home prices. This conclusion has the most significant impact on low income and first-time home buyers, as the same percentage of investors say they target starter homes. And then the next sentence, are investors right to blame themselves? And this journalist says not necessarily. While they're buying up about a quarter of all single-family homes, several factors are at play, none of which will surprise investors or buyers. Investors are one of the many. Yes. Overall supply and demand. Yes. A national shortage of housing. Yes. The low interest rate that we had during COVID. Yes. This all contributed to the issues with like starter homes. The impact of real estate investors on home prices, and more specifically, a first-time buyer's ability to purchase a home, often comes down to deep competition in a shallow market. Yes. And this is what I explain to my buyers all the time. I'm getting on my soapbox, you guys. When you're a first-time home buyer and you're getting into a 1,500 square foot house, that's $230,000, you're competing with grandma, right? Because she's downsizing. You're competing with the investor. Yep, because they want to buy cheap homes. Yep. And you're competing with other first-time home buyers. So it's triple, because like if you're buying in the 500K range, you're only competing with other people who are wanting to live in the home and only competing with a certain type of person who makes a certain amount of money, right? So that's what they're talking about, a shallow market. Very deep competition, deep as in 3-4 people deep, and a shallow market. This is why I'm so passionate about, like, I just hate the apartment situation. Like, in my mind, the perfect thing, and this may not work, this is Marcy in her world of this is a really cool Norman and a really cool place to live, would be like a duplex, right? And then behind it, you have some townhomes, and then you have like a courtyard that 4 townhomes share right behind it. And yes, you don't have your own yard, but you have a yard and you have friends. Like, it's hard to make friends, you guys. So that to me is like the ideal. And especially in an area where, young families could live around people who are retired. Like it just makes for such a healthy society to mix all these types of people together so that they can be a community. Like Norman is all about community. And I think in some aspects, we don't have that option anymore because of the like homogeneous aspects of our housing. So that's my soapbox. I'm getting off now. Okay. Single-family homes are the most popular choice for real estate investors. Yes, because they appreciate very quickly. Nearly 3 in 5 of those surveyed specialize in these properties. Yes. However, in many cases, the homes that investors purchase aren't necessarily ones that would attract home buyers, at least not initially, until they do something to them. Okay. They're saying that investors buy the properties at the lowest end of the market. So here's the thing. Yes, They buy the crappiest houses. And if they weren't allowed to buy those houses, or if possibly they had something going against them, that they didn't want to buy the houses as bad as they currently do, or even better, and I heard someone say this the other day, I really like this idea, is to give people incentives, like tax incentives for selling to an owner occupant. I think that's also a really good idea. Like give the seller that incentive, because you can discriminate against investors. That's the thing. Like you can do that. So do it if you want to. You don't have to. It's just something that you can do. But if there wasn't so much competition for those smaller, affordable single-family houses, then it would drive the price down, and it would make people who own kind of these smaller single-family houses do some work on them. So it gets the maintenance level up a little bit, and people actually want them. So I'm a realtor. This is what I think about. I want to see people happy and living in community. Okay. Let's see. The median sales price. This is a really good point. For the first time in 2024, the median sale price of a new home fell below that of an existing home. This happens in this kind of market, especially when the median home price across the U.S. is $418,000. The average home price here in in Norman is $280,000. In Oklahoma City, it's around $235,000. In Tulsa, it's even less. So, is Oklahoma affordable? More affordable than other places, for sure. Cool. Okay. I thought that was a really interesting article. Read the Journal Record. I think it's great. Oh, let's do this one, and then let's do this one. Okay. I'm going back to Norman because I kind of left it for a second, and I think people left me because I was on my soapbox. But we're back. Okay. This is about the UNP, University of North Park. Okay. So this is in the Journal Record. There, you can read this across all of the news sources. And guys, I don't I don't watch televised news, because I don't like it. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So I don't read it. I just think it's like written poorly because it's for television. So I like reading it better. Okay, so Norman holds first public hearing on a $1 billion entertainment district. I have a video about the entertainment district and where it would go. Okay, so there's going to be 2 public hearings about the district. This is going to be on Rock Creek and 24th. So it's between West Rock Creek, I-35, West Tecumseh, and Max Westheimer Airport. So if you know where the airport is, let's go back to our map so I can show you. Okay, so here's Norman. Here's the Embassy Suites. If you've lived in Norman for a long time, like Embassy Suites used to be like a tower all by itself out in the middle of nowhere. And now there's actually stuff around it, so that's fun. So all of this area right here would be what we're talking about, and like over here. Okay. So campus, this is downtown, the offset, and then this is the Memorial Stadium. So this is the football stadium. So it's quite a distance from campus, is one of the points that people are making, which I think is a good point. So this giant entertainment district, or the arena itself, so like basketball, gymnastics, wrestling. Tell me if there's something else that would be in there. Yeah, I'm not a sports person. So this would occupy the arena for about 30% of the year. So they want to set up a TIF, and please don't make me tell you what a TIF is. Like, I've had it explained to me, and I still don't understand completely, but it's complicated. And if one of you can explain it, please go ahead. It's a way of collecting taxes from the public that is weird. There's a lot of advertisements going on this page. Sorry about that. Okay. Ad valorem district collecting 100% of ad valorem taxes generated by the project. Okay. So the first district, I'm going to try to explain this to you. First district, Norman TIF 4, which would be a sales tax district collecting the non-dedicated and capital improvement sales tax generated by the project starting in May 2025. And then the second district is for property taxes. Ad valorem taxes are property taxes. I know that because I read real estate contracts all day long. And then the sales tax district. So they're collecting money in two different ways, is what they're saying. Okay. Public questions focus on arena location, off campus, and the effect of new retail on existing options. So here's what's happening. And if you don't live here, then you don't get it because you don't see it. So you drive down Main Street, and not half of the buildings, but almost half the buildings are empty. That's one of the things. Ed Noble Parkway, where we were talking about by the West Side Library, half of those stores are empty. So there's all these options for retail, and do we have the demand to fill them? I think we could have the demand to fill them, but what are we filling them with? Like, that's the question. Norman loves a good chain restaurant, but is that what we want more of? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. So this guy, Mr. Mark, said he's lived in Ward 3 for 5 years, and he's concerned about the city's future viability. He said he's been to a couple of meetings about the project and asked if any other cities have had a development with an arena where a university is writing a $300 million check. A lot of money, guys. So the university and the city are getting into cahoots together, right? He says that he thinks the answer is no. It's an interesting question. And then he talks about dinosaurs. I don't really know why. Another guy, Dan, expressed concern about the reduced demand for retail space and the subsequent effects of new options on the north side. Yep. Norman can expand only a little bit north before it disappears into more, right? Okay. Let's look at this. The red outline is Norman, okay? This is Indian Hills. And that is the dividing line in actual world. Over here is just weird, where Norman stops and more begins. Okay. Over here, Norman cannot go west anymore because Newcastle is here and because of the big floodplain. Okay. Norman has gone south and continues to do so into Goldsby. It's a very strange situation because Goldsby is a town but does not have a school. So the property taxes then would go to the school, but they only go to buildings and roads. So I'm unsure of sales tax and how that's working in Goldsby. Maybe I need to learn that. I don't know. No. It can't go south anymore because then it runs into Noble. Noble is a town all on its own. It has its own school, etc. And then over here, Pink it's a town. It doesn't have a school. And then, of course, north up here is Oklahoma City. Our expanding range, and we have a lot of land out here. It's all about how they want it to be developed and what we want to welcome into our town, which is why I think condos and townhouses are a good idea. That's my opinion. Because they go up, right? I also, this is an interesting opinion that probably so many people would hate, really hate. But I think some of the roads, especially between Gray Street and what is that, Acres? Nope, further than Acres. Further than Acres, I don't know. I can't think of the road names right now. I think we can close some of those streets because they're huge and create more housing that's a little bit more dense. That's my opinion. Okay. Oops. All right. So that's what's going on with that. Oklahoma City, I'm just going to show you this because this is a real thing. And I talk about it a lot because it's really important. Let's look at Oklahoma City. They can expand. Look at this. How big this thing is. It's the fourth largest city in the US by landmass. It has swallowed Mustang. Del City almost too, because Del City is completely hemmed in. And then there's some other towns in the middle of it. But Oklahoma City has swallowed up a lot of areas, and they have so much room to expand, where Norman maybe has a little bit less, and Moore has nothing left. Like, look at this. This is Norman right here. So Moore has nothing. And it's all Oklahoma City around it. And it's a continuing issue between all of the cities. It's like they weren't thinking of the future. Okay. So if you think this article is interesting, then go read it on the journal record. If you don't want to subscribe, like, I totally get it. You can read Norman Development. It's really good. I really like that website. So I hope that this was interesting for you, talking about the future of Norman. We by far did not talk about everything. I just mentioned the SEC. Is the SEC the reason why all these things are happening? I mean, no, yes, both. And there could be a plethora of reasons. But I think one of the biggest reasons is that Norman is a really cool place to live. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great night, and I will talk with you later.